Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 6th of April, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at the dollar index, currencies generally, then stock markets, commodities, and last of all, some US tech stocks. And with the dollar index, we see we're just still holding this position just above the cloud at this 101.50 level, 101.44 at the moment. So not much movement really the last few days, sideways, and that is keeping us below the cloud on the medium term. So the dollar is just a mixed picture at the moment, but it's still just holding that short-term strength. The key thing is, will it fall through the cloud? And the euro is the same in reverse, of course. We're seeing this short-term weakness slowing down. Are we coming through the cloud? We're seeing that medium-term recovery in the euro. We have given this new downside target to 102. We've locked that column. We're now on support. The key thing is, will support win, or will the downside win? So we just have to see how that plays out in the next day or so, but it will become quite clear in the next day or two which way we go next. The same with the Japanese yen, dollar weakening, yen strength at the moment, and we're seeing that on all three time frames here. We looked at the South African rand this week just because of the political implications of what's happening there. This is the fall in the rand, the rise in the dollar, and we're through on the medium-term chart. This strength of the dollar versus the rand, or rand weakness, continues. We see those 2 weeks there playing out. And if we look at the 60-minute chart, we see we've got targets anywhere between 4 and 9% upside. So it still looks like the rand has further to fall. Sterling just holding on at this 124.87 level. Really found quite strong support the last few days at the 124.25 area. So at the moment we're just in a very mixed picture, but long term still bearish, medium term just recovering. The key thing is, can we take out this high that we saw in February, this 127 level? So that will be the thing to watch. If we look at sterling as euro, we see that's pretty flat. So both currencies doing much the same thing. And we look at sterling Swiss, similar to the euro chart. And against the Australian dollar, sterling is climbing 165 level, being quite key here. Will we find resistance here? Will sterling have another sell-off? Looking at the S&P 500, quite a fall away at the close last night. We see here the big moves there. So at the moment we're seeing just the market just struggling to hold on to any short-term strength, but the picture is still overall fairly bullish. Nasdaq, much the same thing, just falling away there at the end of the day. So we are seeing just turbulence really in most stock markets. Dow is again just above the cloud, pulling back to the cloud. So we're seeing that in the Russell 2000 index, pulling well back into the cloud. So the next day or two is quite critical. Looking at the future, it's down this morning. So we're seeing potential for that market to open down. So and the Nasdaq E-mini much the same. So market's pretty mixed at the moment. FTSE missed that fall away yesterday. Just it closed before that happened on the US, so it held a small gain, but it's only just bullish on the short term. We do have these upside targets, so markets are a little bit mixed at the moment. FTSE 250 looking stronger. Looking at the DAX, we see here that's holding on to its strength as well, but just coming into the cloud. Nikkei is falling quite heavily, down 1.4% at the moment. It's falling quite heavily on the stronger yen and falling out of this range now. So that's quite significant. This week has been a significant move for the Nikkei, moving down. China just struggling to hold the bullishness on its short term. The Shanghai Composite, that was the Hang Seng Shanghai, looking a bit better, breaking to the upside, almost breaking out. So doing something quite different from Tokyo. Looking at the Sensex, the Indian market, still looks good all round. The Australian market, a little bit of a setback, but still looks pretty bullish all round as well. Brent crude coming back now, having really moved to this 55 level, and seems like we're hitting some resistance there. We see that on the short-term chart. We do have these upside targets. This will give us a new downside target now, though. Key thing is for watching for a cloud cross on crude. Same with WTI, of course. And we still have this target of $37 hanging over us. Natural gas holding the 320s, really spending a lot of time in the 320s, but as we see that, we're just starting to gain some movement to get out of the cloud here. This 344 target is the next one to look at, and we have 365 based on the recent run we've seen as well. Copper, you see, is still bullish, so that's pretty good too. Looking at gold, just struggling to hold in the 250s here. It is still bullish on all three time frames. New downside target here not activated, just waiting for the next move really. And the same with silver, just playing with that short-term cloud. 10-year Treasury sitting at 2.3%. And looking at some tech, Apple's still bullish above the cloud. The same with Google. Most tech had a bit of a sell-off at the end of yesterday, and we're seeing Facebook the same. Microsoft coming back as well, and Nvidia just continuing on from its run, testing this 100 level quite significantly. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.